Tulsidas, the poet who gave India its soul. Introduction. A man sat alone in a dark room. His wife had left him. His family rejected him. People called him crazy. He had nothing, no money, no respect, no hope. But this same man would write one book, just one book, and that book would change 500 million lives forever. His name was Tulsidas, and this is his true story. You will discover the addiction that destroyed his marriage, the curse that broke him completely, and the dream that gave him a purpose bigger than himself. Most videos only show his poetry, but today you will hear the complete truth, the obsession, the pain, the rejection, the transformation. We spent hours researching rare facts that nobody talks about. We explain everything in simple English, so you learn real lessons and improve your language skills at the same time. By the end, you will not just know his story. You will learn how to turn your deepest pain into your greatest purpose. And if you don't want to miss more amazing videos like this, then do subscribe. This is the story of a broken man who became immortal. Section 1. Humble Beginnings and Early Life. The year was 1532. In a small village called Rajpur, near Varanasi, a child was born. But nobody wanted him. His mother looked at the baby. She saw something strange. The baby had all his teeth already. In those days, people believed this was a bad sign, a very bad sign. His mother was scared. His father was angry. They thought this child would bring bad luck to their family. So they did something terrible. They abandoned him. Can you imagine a newborn baby left alone with nobody to care for him? But one man saw the crying child. His name was Narharidas. He was a holy man who lived a simple life. He had no family, no wealth, just peace in his heart. Narharidas picked up the baby. He looked into the child's eyes, and he saw something different. Not bad luck, but a special soul. He named the baby Rambola. It means one who speaks of Ram. Little did he know how true this name would become. What this teaches us: sometimes our biggest blessings look like curses at first. When people reject you, remember Tulsidas. His parents left him, but his real teacher found him. Trust the journey. Try this. When someone rejects you this week, ask yourself, is this making space for something better? Write down your answer. Narharidas raised Rambola in the holy city of Varanasi. Every morning, they would wake up at 4 a.m. The city was still dark, the Ganga river was quiet, and the teacher would begin the lessons. Repeat after me, Narharidas would say, and young Rambola would repeat. Sanskrit words, holy verses, ancient wisdom. But Rambola was different from other students. He learnt everything fast, very fast. If you taught him once, he remembered forever. By age 5, he knew more Sanskrit than scholars twice his age. By age 7, he could explain texts that confused grown men. People started calling him a genius. But Narharidas taught him something more important than knowledge. He taught him devotion, love for God, especially love for Lord Ram. Every night before sleeping, Narharidas would tell stories. Stories of Ram, stories of Sita, stories of Hanuman, stories of good fighting against evil. Young Rambola would listen with wide eyes. His heart would fill with emotion. These were not just stories to him. They felt real. They felt alive. One day, Narharidas told him, "You will share these stories with the world, not in Sanskrit that only few people understand, but in a language that touches every heart." Rambola did not understand what his teacher meant. Not yet. But those words would change his entire life. The years passed. Rambola grew into a young man. He was now called Tulsidas. He was intelligent, handsome, talented. Everyone respected him. But something was missing in his heart. He felt empty, and he did not know why. Then one day, he saw her. Section 2. The Obsession and the Curse. Her name was Ratnavali. She was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Long black hair, bright eyes, a smile that made his heart stop. Tulsidas fell in love instantly, deeply, completely, madly. They got married, and for Tulsidas, nothing else mattered anymore. Not his studies, not his prayers, not his devotion, only Ratnavali. He would follow her everywhere. If she went to fetch water, he went with her. If she visited her parents' house, he could not bear to be apart. If she was in another room, he felt pain. People started talking. "Look at Tulsidas," they would whisper. "He was such a devoted spiritual man. Now he only thinks about his wife." But Tulsidas did not care. He was addicted. Addicted to her presence. Addicted to her love. What this teaches us: too much of anything, even love, can become a prison. When one person becomes your whole world, you lose yourself. Balance is not boring. Balance is freedom. One day, Ratnavali had to visit her parents' house. It was on the other side of the Ganga river. The journey would take 2 days. "I will come back soon," she told Tulsidas. "Please stay here." Tulsidas agreed. But as soon as she left, he felt terrible. He could not eat, could not sleep, could not think of anything except her. One night passed, he was restless. 2 nights passed, he was in agony. On the 3rd night, he made a decision. "I cannot live without her. I must go to her, right now." It was midnight. The rain was falling hard. The Ganga was flooding. The water was dangerous. No boats were running. Any normal person would wait till morning. But Tulsidas was not thinking clearly. His obsession controlled him completely. He ran to the river. The water was rising fast. Waves were crashing. He needed something to hold on to. Then he saw it. A piece of wood floating in the water. He grabbed it. He held it tight. He used it to cross the river. The water was freezing. His body was shaking. But he kept going. Only one thought in his mind: Ratnavali. When he reached the other side, he was exhausted. But her parents' house had high walls. The gate was locked. He looked around. He saw a rope hanging from the wall. He grabbed it. He climbed up. He jumped over the wall. Finally, he reached her room. He knocked on the window. Ratnavali opened it. She saw her husband, soaking wet, breathing hard, eyes wild with desperation. She was shocked. "What are you doing here? How did you cross the river in the storm?" "I used a piece of wood floating in the water, and I climbed the wall using a rope," he said. She took him to see what he was talking about. They went back outside. She looked at the rope he had climbed. Her face turned white with horror. It was not a rope. It was a dead snake, hanging from the wall. She looked toward the river. She saw what he had used to cross the water. It was not a piece of wood. It was a dead body, floating in the flood. Ratnavali started crying. Not tears of love, tears of shock and disappointment. She looked at Tulsidas, and she said the words that would change his life forever. "The love you have for my body, made of flesh and bones, if you had even half that love for Lord Ram, you would cross not just this river, but the ocean of life and death itself." Listen to those words again. Let them sink in. She continued, "You are wasting your life on me. I am just a body. I will grow old, I will die. I will become dust. But you were meant for something greater." Tulsidas stood there, silent, frozen. The rain was still falling, but inside him, a storm was breaking. What this teaches us: sometimes the harshest words are the greatest gifts. Ratnavali's curse became Tulsidas's awakening. When someone tells you a painful truth, do not get angry. Listen, it might save your life. Try this. Think of one criticism someone gave you that hurt. Now ask yourself, was there truth in it? Write down what you can learn from it. That night changed everything. Tulsidas left that house. He left his wife. He left his old life. He walked away with nothing but the clothes on his body and shame in his heart. His story is just beginning. And if you want to hear more amazing stories like this while improving your English, hit that subscribe button now.
Section 3. The Dark Years and the Search. Tulsidas walked for days. He did not know where he was going. He did not care. He reached Varanasi, the city of his childhood. But it felt different now. Empty, dark. He remembered his teacher, Narharidas. But Narharidas had died years ago. Tulsidas was alone, completely alone. For the first time in his life, he had to face himself, and he did not like what he saw. A man who wasted years obsessing over temporary things. A man who forgot his purpose. A man who had knowledge but no wisdom. He decided to change. But how do you change yourself completely? He started by giving up everything. His nice clothes, his comfortable life, his reputation. He became a sadhu, a wandering holy man. He would sleep on the ground, eat simple food, sometimes nothing at all, own nothing, want nothing. But giving up physical things was easy. The real battle was inside his mind. Every night, thoughts would torture him. Memories of Ratnavali, regret for wasted years, shame for his obsession, doubt about his future. What am I doing? I am not young anymore. I wasted the best years of my life. Can I really change now? Is it too late? Have you ever felt like this? Like you wasted too much time and now it is too late? That is exactly how Tulsidas felt. But he kept going. One day at a time, one prayer at a time, one step at a time. What this teaches us? It is never too late to start again. Tulsidas began his real life's work after age 40. Your past mistakes are not your final destination. They are your training ground. Try this. Today, forgive yourself for one past mistake. Say out loud, "That was then, this is now. I am different now." Years passed. Tulsidas traveled all over India. He visited holy places. He studied ancient texts. He learned from wise teachers. But something was still missing. He would pray to Lord Ram every day. But he never felt close enough. He wanted something more, something deeper, a real connection. One night in Varanasi, something happened. Tulsidas was sleeping near a temple. It was very late. The streets were empty. Most people were asleep. Suddenly, Tulsidas woke up. He heard a sound. He looked outside. He saw an old man. The man looked sick, weak. He had wounds on his body. The old man was trying to clean the temple steps, but he was too weak. He kept falling. Something moved in Tulsidas' heart. He went outside. "Please rest," he told the old man. "I will clean the temple." The old man smiled, a strange, beautiful smile. He looked at Tulsidas with deep love. Then he disappeared, just vanished into the air. Tulsidas realized something. That was not a normal old man. That was Lord Hanuman, in disguise, testing him, teaching him. From that night, Tulsidas started seeing signs everywhere. In the wind, in the trees, in the faces of poor people. God was not somewhere far away. God was here, in everything, in everyone. But Tulsidas wanted more. He wanted a vision, a real meeting with Ram, the kind of meeting that would remove all doubts forever. He decided to go to Chitrakoot. This was the place where Ram had lived during his exile thousands of years ago. The place was full of spiritual energy. Tulsidas reached Chitrakoot. He found a quiet spot near the Mandakini river. He sat down. He closed his eyes and he began the deepest meditation of his life. Days passed. He barely ate, barely slept, just prayed, just waited, just hoped. People who saw him thought he was crazy. Look at that man, sitting there for days, talking to himself. What is he hoping to find? Then one morning, on the 8th day, something happened. Tulsidas opened his eyes. The sun was rising. The river was glowing with golden light. And there, standing in front of him, he saw two young men. They were extraordinarily beautiful. They were glowing with divine light. They looked at him with so much love. One of them smiled, and in that smile, he recognized him, Lord Ram, with his brother Lakshman. Tulsidas could not speak, could not move. Tears started flowing from his eyes. All the pain of his life, all the searching, all the waiting, it was all worth it for this one moment. The vision lasted only a few seconds, but those few seconds gave Tulsidas something that would last forever. Certainty, purpose, direction. He knew what he had to do now.
Section 4. The Ramcharitmanas, a book for the people. After the vision, Tulsidas sat by the river. His mind was clear. His heart was full. He knew his life's mission now. Lord Ram's story existed in Sanskrit, in the Ramayana, written by Valmiki, but Sanskrit was the language of scholars, priests, rich people. Common people could not understand it. Millions of people in North India spoke different languages: Hindi, Awadhi, Bhojpuri. These people loved Ram, but they could not read his story in their own language. Tulsidas decided to change that. He would write Ram's story in the language of the people, in Awadhi, a language that farmers understood, that mothers could sing to their children, that old people could recite from memory. But this was a dangerous decision. The priests were angry. How dare he write holy texts in common language, they said. This is against our tradition. This is disrespectful. Some threatened him. Some mocked him. Some said he would face divine punishment.
Section 4. The Ramcharitmanas, a book for the people. After the vision, Tulsidas sat by the river. His mind was clear. His heart was full. He knew his life's mission now. Lord Ram's story existed in Sanskrit, in the Ramayana written by Valmiki. But Sanskrit was the language of scholars, priests, rich people. Common people could not understand it. Millions of people in North India spoke different languages: Hindi, Awadhi, Bhojpuri. These people loved Ram, but they could not read his story in their own language. Tulsidas decided to change that. He would write Ram's story in the language of the people, in Awadhi,
a language that farmers understood, that mothers could sing to their children, that old people could recite from memory. But this was a dangerous decision. The priests were angry. How dare he write holy texts in common language, they said. This is against our tradition. This is disrespectful. Some threatened him. Some mocked him. Some said he would face divine punishment for this. But Tulsidas did not stop. He had seen Ram. Ram had given him this mission. Nothing else mattered now. What this teaches us: when you find your true purpose, people will try to stop you, not because you are wrong, but because you are challenging the old ways. Real change always faces resistance. Keep going anyway. Try this. This week, do one thing you believe in, even if others disagree. Start small, but start. On a Tuesday in 1574, Tulsidas picked up his pen. He sat in a small room in Varanasi. He took a deep breath and he wrote the first words of the Ramcharitmanas. For the next 2 years, 7 months and 26 days, he wrote. Every single day, in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, the words flowed through him like a river. He wrote about Ram's birth, his childhood, his marriage to Sita, his exile to the forest, Sita's kidnapping by the demon king Ravan, the war, the victory, the return home. But Tulsidas did not just write the story. He wrote it in a way that touched the heart. Every line was poetry. Every verse was music. Every word was chosen with love. He wrote in such simple language that even uneducated people could understand. He used examples from daily life. He explained complex ideas in easy words. And he wrote with such devotion that people who heard it felt like they were seeing Ram right in front of them. If this story is touching your heart, show your support by hitting the like button. It helps us bring more stories like this to you. When the book was finished, Tulsidas placed it in front of Lord Shiva's temple in Varanasi. He prayed, "If this book is good, if it helps people, please give me a sign." That night, something miraculous happened. All the great scholars of Varanasi were sleeping. They all had the same dream. In the dream, Lord Shiva appeared. He said, "Go to my temple. There is a book there. It is the greatest book ever written in your language. Honor it." When morning came, the scholars rushed to the temple. They found the Ramcharitmanas. They started reading, and they could not stop. Every page was perfect. Every verse was beautiful. This was not just a book. This was divine. Slowly, the book spread, first in Varanasi, then to nearby cities, then across entire North India. People would gather in the evening. Someone would read the Ramcharitmanas out loud. Everyone would listen. Some would cry. Some would smile. All would feel peace. Mothers started singing verses to their babies. Farmers would recite lines while working in fields. Old people would read it before sleeping. The book became part of daily life. What this teaches us: real impact comes from making wisdom accessible. Tulsidas did not keep knowledge locked in difficult language. He opened the door so everyone could enter. If you want to help people, speak their language. Meet them where they are. For the next 20 years, Tulsidas continued his work. He wrote more books. He taught disciples. He helped the poor. He guided the confused. He served everyone without discrimination. He lived in a small house in Varanasi. He owned almost nothing. A few clothes, some books, a pen. That was all. But he was rich beyond measure. Rich in love. Rich in purpose. Rich in peace. People from all over India came to meet him. Kings, scholars, saints, ordinary people. Everyone wanted his blessing, his guidance, his presence. But Tulsidas never became proud, never thought he was special. He would say, "I am just a servant. The words came through me, not from me. All credit goes to Ram. In 2063, Tulsidas became very ill. His body was old now, more than 90 years old. He knew his time was coming. On the last day of his life, he was lying down. His disciples were around him. They were crying. "Please don't leave us," they said. Tulsidas smiled, a peaceful smile. He said, "I'm not leaving. My body will go, but my words will stay. Wherever someone reads the Ramcharitmanas, I will be there. Ram will be there." Then he closed his eyes and he left his body. It was July 1623. The city of Varanasi wept that day. But even in death, Tulsidas won, because his words did not die. His mission did not end. His impact kept growing.
Section 5. The Eternal Legacy. Today, more than 400 years after his death, Tulsidas is more alive than ever. The Ramcharitmanas is in millions of homes across India. Not just in homes, but in hearts. People don't just read it, they live it. During difficult times, people open the book randomly and read whatever page appears. And mysteriously, that page often has exactly the message they needed. Is it a coincidence or something more? In villages across India, during the harvest season, communities gather for 9 nights. They perform Ram Leela, the story of Ram, based on Tulsidas's words. Children watch with wonder. Old people watch with tears. The tradition continues, generation after generation. The book has been translated into more than 100 languages: English, French, Russian, Chinese, Japanese. People across the world now read Tulsidas's words. His mission of spreading Ram's story has reached places he never imagined. What made his book so special? Why does it still touch hearts after 400 years? Because Tulsidas understood one truth. People don't need complex philosophy. They need simple wisdom. They don't need difficult language. They need words that touch the heart. They don't need perfect saints to worship. They need stories of real struggles and real victories that they can relate to. What this teaches us: simplicity is not weakness. Simplicity is power. The most powerful truths can be said in the simplest words. Don't make your message complicated to look intelligent. Make it simple to be useful. Think about Tulsidas's journey. He started as a man obsessed with temporary love. He became a man who spread eternal love. He went from being addicted to one person to serving millions of people. From being a prisoner of desire to being a guide for freedom. His wife's curse became his greatest blessing. His rejection became his redirection. His pain became his purpose. Now I want to ask you, what lesson from Tulsidas's life will you apply today? Tell me in the comments below. Final life lessons from Tulsidas. Lesson 1. Your lowest moment can become your turning point. When Ratnavali rejected him, Tulsidas could have lived in bitterness. Instead, he transformed completely. Your rock bottom can be your foundation for building something great. Lesson 2. True devotion is not about rituals, it is about love. Tulsidas did not become great by doing complicated practices. He became great by loving deeply. Whatever you do it with your whole heart. Lesson 3. Serve others in the language they understand. Tulsidas could have written in Sanskrit to impress scholars. Instead, he wrote in Awadhi to help common people. Real greatness is not about showing off. It is about lifting others up. Lesson 4. Your past does not define your future. Tulsidas wasted years in obsession, but he did not let that waste define him. He started again, at 40, at 50. It is never too late. Your new chapter can begin today. Lesson 5. When you find your purpose, obstacles become irrelevant. Priests opposed him. Society mocked him. But Tulsidas kept writing because he knew his mission. When your why is clear, the how becomes easier.
powerful conclusion and final message. Remember at the start I told you about a man who lost everything but changed 500 million lives? Now you know the complete story. Tulsidas was abandoned at birth, rejected by his wife, criticized by society. He had every reason to give up, to be bitter, to live small. But he chose differently. He chose to transform his pain into poetry, his rejection into purpose, his darkness into light. Today, centuries after his death, his words still bring peace to troubled hearts, still give hope to struggling souls, still remind people that divine love is not far away. It is here, inside you, inside everyone. His life teaches us one final truth. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are not your limitations. You are what you choose to become from this moment forward. Tulsidas started with nothing and left behind everything. A broken man became immortal. A rejected soul became beloved by millions. A lost seeker became a guide for generations. And if he could do it, so can you. Your story is waiting to be written. Your purpose is calling. Your transformation is possible. What will you do today? If this inspired you, share it with someone who needs to hear this story. Subscribe for more true stories that change lives and improve English. From abandoned child to eternal poet. From obsessed lover to servant of millions. From darkness to light. This is the power of one decision, one change, one choice.